Hi, my name is David Lauder, and I'm one of the dento-legal advisors here at the DDU. I'll be talking to you today about the reasons why it's important to follow guidance. But before I do this, I want to provide some context and explain the differences between laws, standards, and guidance. Laws in the UK can be made in different ways. A new law can be created by an act of Parliament. An example of this is the Dentists Act, which gives the GDC the power to prosecute non-registrants who carry out tooth whitening, because the Act defines the illegal practice of dentistry. Another way in which new laws can be developed is through the courts. In the UK, the highest court is the Supreme Court, and if a ruling is made in the Supreme Court that is different to previous cases, this can constitute a change in the law. For example, the law on consent changed in 2015 following the judgment of Montgomery versus Lanarkshire. You'll see the terms standards and guidance used quite commonly in dentistry. Sometimes they're used interchangeably, but they shouldn't be. Broadly speaking, guidelines are usually designed to assist clinicians with their clinical decision-making by providing recommendations which should be considered rather than being mandatory or universally applied. Dental professionals should still use their professional judgment based on the clinical situation in front of them. However, from a dental legal perspective, when you deviate from widely accepted guidance, it's ideal to document the guidelines you've considered and your reason for deviating from them. There are lots of examples of guidelines that dental professionals might need to think about. In relation to COVID, there are guidelines about how to work during the pandemic from the various chief dental officers, as well as those that have recently been jointly published by the FGDP and the College of General Dentistry. Standards, by comparison, are usually more specific and measurable. Two examples of standards are the FGDP standards on clinical examination and record keeping, and the GDC's standards for the dental team. In relation to both standards and guidance, a key dental-legal principle to remember is that in order to successfully defend both a claim for compensation or criticism from someone else, such as a healthcare regulator, it's generally necessary to demonstrate that what you are doing is in line with what's called a responsible body of opinion. There are various bodies that have provided guidance during the pandemic that would be thought of as responsible bodies of opinion, and these include the Departments of Health, the Royal Colleges, and the specialist societies that have issued guidance on how to care for patients at the current time. This principle of being able to demonstrate that the way you are working is in line with a responsible body of opinion has always been important, but I think it's been highlighted during the COVID-19 pandemic. There have been various organizations saying slightly different things at different times, and this has led to a great deal of confusion for some people, as it sometimes appears to be contradictory. Unfortunately, for understandable reasons, many of the guidance documents have also continuously been updated, which has led to yet more confusion. To try and help, we think it would be ideal to always look at live guidance rather than a saved copy, and we think it can also be helpful to map any policies and procedures against the live guidance. I hope this has been a helpful overview of the differences between laws, guidance, and standards in dentistry, and thank you for your time. If you have any queries or would like further advice, please contact the DDU's advisory department, and we'll be happy to help.